And I'm Beth Jones. First tonight, offshore wind development may soon be coming to Sears Island after an announcement made this afternoon by Governor Mills.
Our Augusta reporter Corey Bouchard has that story.
Port of Searsport, one of the most important ports of the entire eastern seaboard, will rise again to become a thriving hub of commerce of world-renowned stature.
Governor Janet Mills announced that around 100 acres of the state-owned section on Sears Island has been selected to be a port facility to support the floating offshore wind industry.
If Sears Island is approved, it will become the home of a world-class facility for the fabrication, staging, assembly, maintenance, and deployment of offshore wind technology.
James Gilway, the town manager for Searsport, says he looks forward to working with the governor's office and Maine Department of Transportation to build the facility.
Searsport has a long and rich history of building vessels and sailing them from Penobscot Bay to all ports around the world. We are very proud of this history, and we see the construction of floating offshore wind platforms as a modern-day continuation of that vessel building heritage.
Governor Mills adds that the project will not only help stabilize Maine's power industry to help reduce the cost of Maine electric bills, but it will also help generate jobs and revenue.
The offshore wind industry is expected to generate as much as $1 trillion in worldwide investment by 2040. The time has come to bring some of that investment to Maine.
The proposed plan has sparked a protest on Wednesday by the Alliance for Sears Island to speak out against what they say is the state of Maine breaking their promise by selecting Sears Island instead of Mack Point. At the State House, I'm Corey Bouchard for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
Maine State Police have released the name of the person killed in a shooting in Waterville on Monday. The victim has been identified as 22-year-old Justin Iraola of Winslow. Another person was shot at but not injured. Maine State Police say officers responded to a reported shooting outside a residence at 18 Grove Street in Waterville just after 8 o'clock Monday morning. They say Iraola was shot multiple times, and it's unclear whether any arrests have been made or if there's a person of interest. However, police do say there's no danger to the public.
The state of Maine is getting $50 million for clean water infrastructure upgrades. A statement from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency says that money comes from President Biden's bipartisan infrastructure law. EPA Regional Administrator David W. Cash says communities are facing challenges with aging pipes that fail and new concerns with things like PFAS. Cash says, quote, "Every person, every child deserves safe and clean drinking water." And together with our state and local partners, we're financing upgrades to wastewater treatment plants, replacing old and aging water mains, and developing new filtration sites to remove contaminants from drinking water to make that a reality, end quote.
In the wake of stalled legislation, Republican lawmakers say more needs to be done to reduce the cost of electricity in Maine. According to House Republican leader Billy Bob Fockingham, Republicans have supported several bills aimed at reducing electric rates, but he says they are unlikely to pass in a Democratic-controlled House and Senate. They include one measure that was canceled today.
Talk to the Maine people over and over again about what their biggest concerns are. It comes to two things: inflation and energy costs. It's the cost of their groceries and the cost of their electric bills. Today in the House, we voted on LD 683, an act to reduce energy rates. This was a bill that absolutely would have factually reduced energy rates. Every Democrat voted against it. Every Republican voted in favor of it to reduce electric rates.
Republican lawmakers say they are in support of studying the use of nuclear power as an alternative to Maine's reliance on fossil fuels and natural gas for our electric grid.
A bill that would require insurance providers to cover the total cost of over-the-counter birth control medication was the focus of a public hearing today. Currently, Maine law requires insurers cover prescription contraception methods approved by the FDA. LD 2203 would expand those provisions to include non-prescription contraceptives. Today, lawmakers heard testimony for and against that bill.
Birth control is, as we know, popular, effective, and essential to reproductive freedom. Nationally, 90% of women have used contraception, and 86% of adults support access to all forms of contraception.
This bill changed a lot on Friday when it came out. It now expands first dollar coverage for every FDA-approved contraceptive. And as health insurance plans and carriers are concerned about how do we make that work?
If the bill is passed, Maine would join a number of other states, including California, New Mexico, and Washington, which all require insurance coverage of non-prescription contraceptives without cost sharing. The FDA recently approved the first over-the-counter daily oral contraceptive, which will become available to consumers later this year.
Well, switching gears now, last week we told you about the announcement that Bangor's superintendent of schools would be stepping down. Today, for the first time, we heard from James Tager about his reasoning for the move, as well as where the school board plans to go from here. Take a listen.
The 3 years here have been probably the best of my career because it's a community that really cares about education. And I think it's funny, every year I start out and somehow I think I just know it's time.
Tager has been working in education for 42 years, and he plans to move to Florida to be closer to family. The school committee is in the process of conducting a nationwide search for Tager's replacement. They hope to fill the position by July.
Organizers from more than 30 states, including Maine, gathered to announce details of a major 2024 statewide voter mobilization campaign. The group Maine Poor People's Campaign says low-wage voters make up a majority of the electorate across the country, but are often disenfranchised from voting.
Myself, last year, I spent 62% of my wages just to not be homeless. That ain't right. I come from the city of Bangor, where nearly 50% of renters are paying over 30% of their income on rent. And there are so many struggles, and the lived reality of poor people is not represented in the policy that comes out of this State House.
Event organizers say poverty-related issues often lead to early death, and it's up to the people to demand higher wages, affordable housing, voter rights, and other policies.
Well, Maine public universities will be issuing estimated financial aid award letters to prospective students starting March 1st. That news came today from the University of Maine system in the wake of concerning issues with the new FAFSA form. They say 86% of all degree-seeking undergraduate students enrolled in the University of Maine system receive financial aid, which typically requires completion of the free application for student aid. The U.S. Department of Education recently revamped the FAFSA with the goal of making it easier for students and families, as well as to expand access to aid. But there have been some technical difficulties and months-long delays in getting institutions the information they need to determine which students are eligible for financial aid. Many students need to know how much aid they'll get before deciding which school to go to or if they can go at all. A statement says all prospective UMS students can request an estimated financial aid letter. So certainly some good news there. It's a stressful thing to apply for financial aid, and then when you throw in technical hiccups and delays, it just makes it worse for students. So
absolutely, yeah. I mean, so many students right now just kind of in limbo. My cousin, one of them, who's graduating high school, and applied for a bunch of different schools. But for so many students, that amount that they will be getting in student aid will be the biggest factor in their decision of where to go. Especially
when you consider, the onus that student loans can put on you for years and years to come. So that really is the deciding factor, is how much is going to be coming out of my own pocket, how much will I have to take loans out for, and if one school is more affordable than another, that's a big deal, but you have to have those numbers in front of you.
Yeah, you really do, in order to make that decision.
Alrighty, folks, let's go ahead and hit pause here. We're going to peek outside and get a first check of our forecast now.
Thank you so much, and get those fire pits ready. Another cold start to the day today. Average highs, though, around 28, 29 degrees all over the region, even some lower 30s in some spots. But today we were slightly below our average for this time of year. 28 here in town, right by the coast, a little bit cooler actually. Check up north, Greenville, Millinocket area, teens and lower 20s. So it definitely felt like a winter day outside. We do still have a little bit of snow on the ground, of course. Millinocket, Greenville, Greenville, and then north of Greenville, that's where we're talking well over 6 inches of snow still on the ground. In general, though, we're just seeing some passing clouds and not too much overcast conditions. We're actually going to continue to see some partly cloudy skies overnight tonight as temperatures once again dip well below freezing into the single digits and lower teens.
All right.
All right, and still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, Down East Community Partners is asking the community for some help. Our Grace Blanchard will have the details.
And Giffords producing ice cream once again after finishing crucial repairs to a facility that caught on fire last year. We'll have those stories and more local news when we come right back.
It's so important to me to work at a place that I believe in.
I love having that one-on-one with our members.
You come to a credit union to work because you actually like helping people.
You get to be a part of really life-changing moments.
We get to guide them through the process of having their dream come true.
It's work that I can really believe in.
Builds a really rewarding professional career.
You can honestly make a difference in people's lives. And that's why I like credit unions.
It's just a wonderful place to work.
My father worked at the mill for over 30 years. He was exposed to a great community and excelled at his job, but he was also exposed to asbestos. The air quality inside the mill was always his biggest complaint. He had no idea how deadly some of the products and materials were. When he was diagnosed with mesothelioma, we knew to call Joe Bornstein's office to get my dad the help he needs and the justice he deserves.
Call Joe today for a free case evaluation. There's never a fee unless you win.
Why should your new floor come from Carpet One? Because we're passionate about the spaces our neighbors call home. We're part of your community, and we're also part of the world's largest cooperative of independently owned and operated flooring stores. So you can be sure you'll get great selection and outstanding value with every installation. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, tile, or luxury vinyl, our experts take the guesswork out of choosing the right floor. We're your local Carpet One Floor and Home, the one store for your perfect floor.
Come stop by Triple S Tack Shop, 315 Hamden Road, Carmel, for quality clothing and equestrian gear.
Who's a fake? Let's get it on. And who's the real deal? From the start to her all new I Can See Your Voice, Wednesdays on Fox.
Hello, I'm Emma Smith, and coming up on Good Morning Maine, we'll have an insider look at the historic and iconic Fort Halifax Park in Winslow. Plus, we'll hear about the latest out of the Maine Republican Party, and from the governor about the status of offshore wind legislation and progress. These stories and all the latest basketball coverage coming up on Good Morning Maine.
Welcome back. Down East Community Partners has a mission to keep people in Hancock and Washington counties warm this winter. They're asking the community for help by joining in on their upcoming benefit to support those who need immediate heating assistance. Our Grace Blanchard has details.
This weekend, Down East Community Partners is holding its second annual To Warm a Winter's Night fundraising event.
It is literally what it sounds like, to keep people warm.
The event will feature live music from local artists and a silent auction with items donated by local businesses and community members.
Last year's event was extraordinarily successful. We had no idea. We'd never done this before. And we ended up raising close to $90,000.
All the proceeds will go to the Heating and Warmth Fund, also known as THAW, to help keep Mainers warm this winter.
It's not a program where there are reams and reams of paper applications, and therefore it allows us the flexibility to step in when somebody really needs immediate help.
Cadis says the need is great as they have recently seen a more than 40% increase in people reaching out for heating assistance.
October to present is when we started to really keep track, and the need is immense.
The benefit is this Saturday at the Grand in Ellsworth. More information is available on foxbangor.com.
It's going to be a really wonderful night of community and supporting our neighbors.
In Ellsworth, Grace Blanchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
1 year after a devastating fire swept through part of Gifford's ice cream facility in Skowhegan, they've reached a milestone. They are making ice cream once again. Hallelujah. Susan Farley has the details.
There's a lot of work that needed to be done.
On February 2nd of last year, a fire caused extensive damage to Gifford's ice cream production facility. CEO Lindsay Skilling says if you drove by, you might not know there had been a fire, but inside was a different story.
We had to go down to the studs for the majority of our production and then our office space.
Luckily, other ice cream makers were able to keep them on schedule and make ice cream for them.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have had any ice cream over the past year for our customers.
Skilling says it's been a long road since the fire for everyone who worked there.
It wasn't and hasn't been easy on any of us, but we have a strong support system with everyone, all of our family members, and they stuck through it with us and did everything in their power to help us get up and running.
They aren't back at full capacity yet, but they are making ice cream.
There'll be some flavors that our customers were unable to get this past year because co-packers weren't able to produce for us. We'll be able to get those on store shelves again this spring.
Skilling says nothing can prepare you for something like the fire. They want to thank the people of Maine.
They're what keep us going. So, we just thank everybody very much for rooting for us and being patient with us.
In Skowhegan, I'm Susan Farley for ABC 7 and Fox 22.
So glad to see them up and running. It was standing room only inside the gymnasium at Winslow High School as the school hosted its first all-female wrestling meet on Tuesday. As Jody Hersey tells us, more and more girls are taking up the sport because of its competitiveness and the confidence they gain after each and every match.
Wrestling has typically been a male-dominated sport. However, more and more females across Maine and the country are suiting up to wrestle, and coaches like Michael Hansen of Mount Blue High School say they are aggressive competitors.
These girls, there's something about them. There's just a fierceness they bring to the mat, this desire to win no matter what the odds are. You could see a girl on the mat that looks completely out of a match, but I promise you that girl has some fire in her and she's going to fight to the end whether she loses or not.
Some of the wrestlers we spoke with credit their siblings for getting them into the sport.
My brother did get me into it. Yep, I saw him at his first practice and I was like, I kind of want to do that.
This was the first all-female wrestling meet hosted at Winslow High School. The school had 92 participants from 39 different schools show up for the event.
Well, this is a more competitive sport and it just gets all of my anger out, and I do see a lot of girls come out because they have more of a chance with girls than boys because boys are stronger than us. So having this girl tournament is really big for us.
Each athlete in attendance got to compete in more than one match.
Wrestling's really hard and it teaches you that not everything goes your way, like in life.
Coach Hansen says these female wrestlers are already paving the way for others feeling pinned down in life.
Even though they've only been involved for a short time, they want to give back because in that short time, they saw just how much it did for them, and they want to let other girls know, hey, there's a door, it's open, and I'll walk through it with you.
In Winslow, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Seriously fierce athletes right there. Love it.
Yeah, really impressive and cool to hear they're gaining life lessons from that as well.
As athletes often do with whatever sport they practice.
Yep. Well, coming up on the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22, arrests have been made in the Kansas City Super Bowl mass shooting.
And already rain-soaked California is staring down another atmospheric river. We'll have those stories and more as the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22 continues.
Behind every keepsake, there's a memory. Behind every photo, there's a story. Behind Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration, there's people giving back by bringing back what was thought to be lost. The details, the time, and the expertise, all packaged up behind a name that Mainers have trusted for over 35 years. Statewide commercial and residential services. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration. You keep the memories, we'll handle the rest.
With winter still hanging around, it's the perfect time for Ford's all-wheel drive sales event. Now get great deals on Ford trucks, including F-Series, America's best-selling truck for 47 straight years. Choose a rugged F-150 or Ford Super Duty, North America's Truck of the Year. See for yourself why Ford trucks are #1 in brand loyalty. All in stock and ready for immediate delivery. The Ford all-wheel drive sales event happening now at your New England Ford dealers. Now get 1.9% APR for 72 months on 2023 Ford F-150.
Family owned and operating in the Bangor area for more than 10 years. Crosby's Welding is here to help you. We specialize in steel, stainless steel, and aluminum welding and fabrication. We serve many of the local industries from Maine lobstermen to the commercial trucking industry and everything in between. Fully mobile on-site construction services right down to custom signs and fire pits. Fast, friendly, reliable service. Give us a call today for a free estimate, 974-7815.
Toyota trains certified technicians. Is that important?
Well, you wouldn't hire just anyone to help you move, would you?
No.
Of course not.
Not again.
Get your Toyota ready for the year's coldest and harshest weather. See your New England Toyota dealer for great service offers to help keep your Toyota dependable and fuel efficient all winter long. Toyota Service Centers. Keep your Toyota a Toyota.
What if I told you these people are related to these famous faces? Don't play games with your mama. Our new Fox show is a guessing game that's all relative. Oh. That's the performer to their superstar relative. R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
I know the voice.
And you could win life-changing money.
Sign me up, Anthony.
What happened to I don't play games?
I never said that.
We Are Family, all new Wednesdays on Fox and watch anytime on Hulu.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
Prosecutors filed charges against 2 men nearly a week after the deadly Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl parade shooting. Fox's Matt Finn has the story.
2 men in Missouri facing a second-degree murder charge and several other felony counts in connection to last week's deadly shooting following the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl parade. Investigators charging Dominic Miller and Lindo Mays for what the police chief describes as reckless actions. Prosecutors revealing Tuesday a verbal dispute between Mays and a stranger led to shots fired at the parade.
That argument very quickly escalated to Mays drawing his firearm, a handgun, almost immediately. Others pulled their firearms.
While police could not say how many people pulled out a weapon, they did name Dominic Miller as one of the individuals involved.
Mr. Miller's firearm struck Lisa Lopez Galvin.
The shooting, which happened as paradegoers were heading home after a day of celebrating, killing Lisa Lopez Galvan, a local radio DJ and mother of 2. 22 other people, including an 8-year-old child, were also injured.
We seek to hold every shooter accountable for their actions on that day. Every single one.
Kansas City police say they are still actively investigating this case with the hopes of finding additional shooters. Officials today also asking for anyone hurt while trying to escape the chaos to come forward, as Miller and Mays, along with others, could face additional charges.
I'll say very briefly that lawlessness and criminality will never be tolerated in Kansas City.
Miller and Mays are both being held on a $1 million bond and were arrested and charged while hospitalized with unknown injuries. Matt Finn, Fox News.
Well, moderate Republicans in the House are advocating for a slimmed-down alternative to the Senate-passed foreign aid bill, which would provide money for Ukraine, Taiwan, and Israel. It would also include a resurrection of the Trump-era Remain in Mexico border policy. Fox's Jennifer Griffin has the story.
We need the supplemental immediately. And we've been saying that and sounding these alarm bells since October. And so we're going to continue to urge Congress to do its job.
The Pentagon again urging the House to act. Republicans who support more U.S. military aid to Ukraine are now making an America First argument for sending ammunition and weapons. Their analysis shows 90% of the money already given to Ukraine stayed in the U.S., supporting American workers, modernizing an atrophied U.S. defense manufacturing base.
It's not a jobs program, but we need to have a strong defense industrial base in order to protect America.
Senator J.D. Vance opposes Ukraine aid and refused to meet President Zelensky at the Munich Security Conference. His voters stand to benefit from the Ukraine aid bill because the factories where Abrams tanks, Stryker vehicles, and guided multiple launch systems are manufactured in Ohio.
I don't think spending another $61 billion of American money actually helps the Ukrainians that much because, again, our munition supplies are fundamentally depleted. There's only so much that we can do with additional dollars.
In fact, Ukraine aid helped increase U.S. production of 155mm shells, up from 15,000 shells a month before the war to 100,000 shells a month by next year.
What if we had gotten into a conflict in Taiwan and discovered that we didn't have the ability to produce these weapons because the defense industrial base had fallen apart?
The Ukraine aid bill held up in the House includes $20 billion to revamp U.S. weapons stockpiles, like these Stinger missiles made in Tucson, Arizona, which have not been manufactured since 2004.
That production line went dry for many years because of a lack of orders. In fact, we had to bring people back out of retirement to kind of help us reconstitute that line.
The Pentagon signed a $624 million contract to replace the 1,400 Stinger missiles sent to Ukraine, and now that production line is active again, helping modernize U.S. military stockpiles. At the Pentagon, Jennifer Griffin, Fox News.
Meanwhile, another round of heavy rain pounds an already waterlogged California. Fox's Anna Eliopoulos has the latest on the slow-moving storm hitting the West Coast.
Relentless rain continues pounding the Golden State. A multi-day atmospheric river storm triggering extensive flooding and mudslides in several parts of California this week.
It's dicey out there. I hope everybody stays safe.
In SoCal, flooding shut down parts of the Pacific Coast Highway Tuesday, large 12-foot waves thrashing the coast. Further inland, heavy rain led to flooding in Ventura County and Santa Barbara.
This stays flooded almost all year round, but it's much deeper now than it was before the big rains.
On Monday, the storm temporarily closed Santa Barbara Airport and led to several flight delays at LAX. Evacuations were also ordered in burn areas under mudslide threat. Some of those evacuations have now been lifted, but officials warned the threat of landslides is still very real.
We're about to leave, and we just heard a big crash and came back, and half our deck is up now. But thank God, nothing structural. It's just the deck, so we're alive.
The National Weather Service warning California's central coast could see up to 5 inches of rain, and up to 10 inches are possible in some mountain ranges. Californians are being urged to stay cautious as the storm moves out.
It may stop raining, but again, the roads are still wet. And again, just simply slow down, plan ahead, and leave plenty of space between yourself and other vehicles.
The severe weather is expected to move out of the state Wednesday as the storm heads into the Midwest. Anna Eliopoulos, Fox News.
Definitely concerning considering what they've already endured.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right, well, it doesn't look like any rain is coming our way anytime soon. We'll have all the full details in our full 5-day forecast coming right up.
And near average temperatures out there once again for today, but I am tracking a warm up. How warm is it going to get? 50s? Well, you got to tune in to find out.
This is going to be the toughest next level chef yet.
I want my mom.
Only the best will survive.
All new Next Level Chef, Thursdays at 8, 7 Central on Fox.
High Tide Restaurant and Bar, voted #1 in outdoor seating, offers live music, a banquet room, and a new menu. Come take in the spectacular view of the Penobscot River while enjoying the freshest seafood in town. High Tide Restaurant and Bar, located at 5 South Main Street in Brewer. Are plumbing problems giving you a headache? Look no further than Sprague's Plumbing Solutions. With more than 10 years' experience, Sprague's Plumbing Solutions has the knowledge to assist with your plumbing issues. Whether it's a service, remodel, new build, or commercial, we've got you covered. For reliable, professional plumbing services, call Sprague's Plumbing Solutions today for a free estimate. 951-1637. We're here to make your plumbing problems disappear.
Hammond Lumber Company has been a trusted partner of professional contractors, do-it-yourselfers, and homeowners for generations. It's the level of trust that Hammond Lumber has earned by providing an extensive selection of products and materials from industry-leading suppliers with guidance and support through every stage of any project, including delivery of materials throughout Maine and New Hampshire. Hammond Lumber Company is, has been, and will always be your building project partner.
This spring is the perfect time to get away with a great deal on your favorite Hyundai model. All backed by America's best warranty, plus 3 years or 36,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. Add more joy to your journey at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get in and get away now before these deals are gone. Lease a well-equipped all-wheel drive Palisade SEL for only $349 a month, or step up and get unlimited with $1,500 bonus cash. Offers end 2/29.
Crockett's Excavation in Ellsworth wants to congratulate the Ellsworth Eagles on all of their hard work this season. Healing Hands Massage in Hamden would like to congratulate the boys and girls basketball teams on an outstanding season. First National Bank wants to congratulate all of the teams in this year's tournament for all of their hard work. High Tide Restaurant and Bar, voted #1 in outdoor seating, offers live music, a banquet room, and a new menu. Come take in the spectacular view of the Penobscot River while enjoying the freshest seafood in town. High Tide Restaurant and Bar, located at 5 South Main Street in Brewer.
Welcome back, folks. Our main weather is brought to you by Washington County Community College. Discover choices, create success. Don't miss out on free college. Definitely do not want to miss out on some free college. You know what we're not missing out on are these cold temperatures, right? We've been having the last 4 days well below average for this time of year. Our average around 31 degrees for this time, and we've been slightly below that. And that trend is continuing into the day today. 28 degrees here in town, right by the coast, Bar Harbor, into Machias, some upper 20s to lower 30s, but up north, you know, we have a thicker snowpack, right? Greenville, Millinocket area, and north of that, teens as high temperatures. Of course, that snowpack is well over 6 inches. But overall, though, most of the country is very warm. It kind of feels like spring in some spots. Look at this. Texas, back in the 80s, right? Bring out the sunscreen. Kansas, Nebraska earlier today, back in the 70s. That's not normal at all. They're used to seeing a lot of snow on the ground this time of year, and even up into the upper Midwest. Look at this. Green Bay back in the 30s. They were in the 40s earlier today. Chicago back in the mid-50s. So very, very mild temperatures all over the country. We're actually going to get a taste of that. Not 50s. We're going to be back in the 40s, though. Thursday into Friday, back in those lower 40s, near freezing by next weekend. And then, beginning of next week, back into the 40s. So get ready for that. Above average temperatures will be back. Most of the country, though, pretty dry. Not much going on besides the west, right? They do have a little bit of rain. Vegas, not used to seeing a lot of rain. Los Angeles, same story. They're seeing some rain. And then right up the western seaboard, you know, of course, we got Portland, Vancouver, Seattle getting in on some rain. Seattle's kind of used to that. They're used to seeing over 250 days of rain a year. So a rain shower out there is nothing new for them. For us, though, we're staying pretty dry, just a few passing clouds with that snow on the ground, and it is feeling like winter for today. Winds are pretty calm. Machias is at 4 miles an hour. Here in town, we're at 3. But overall, throughout the state, anywhere around 5 miles per hour. That's the gustiest wind we do have. So the wind's nothing to really worry about on that end. For tonight, though, folks, single digits. Once again, mostly clear skies, calm conditions. You know what that means, right? Radiational cooling from the atmosphere. That cold air is going to make its way down all the way to the surface. No winds to mix it all up. So all that cold air is going to work its way down south. Of course, that's why we're going to stay cold by tomorrow morning. But a nice rebound in temperatures, right? It's like a home run. 37 as a high for tomorrow. Partly cloudy skies, and once again, a light breeze. Our extended forecast outlook does show above average temperatures pretty much right through the rest of this week. A little bit of rain and snow chances are possible by Friday. Fast Break Tournament Edition is coming up next after the break.
Meet winter head-on with Quirk Chevrolet in Bangor. Save over $7,600 on 24 Silverado 1500 Custom and buy for $43,462. Or discover style and dependability and save $28,45 on 24 Equinox LT. In the market for a pre-owned vehicle, Quirk Motor City has the next certified car, truck, or SUV you're looking for, with over 400 quality used vehicles to choose from. It's your Chevy. Find it at Quirk in Bangor, Portland, and Rockland. Here's to the next 50 years.
For the best selection in classic and contemporary furnishings, stop by Richard Parks Furniture on High Street in Ellsworth. Handcrafted New England-made bedrooms and dining rooms, imported Scandinavian recliners and upholstery, more than 40 lines of furniture for the home and patio. Richard Parks Furniture is your #1 stop for quality, functionality, and well-designed furniture at affordable prices. Richard Parks Furniture.
Discover Richard Parks.
132 High Street in Ellsworth.
Discover Richard.
CEM DP Porter Contractors have been in business for more than 40 years. We have recently added an electrical division to further be of service to our loyal customers. CEM specializes in design build for commercial and residential projects. Whether you need help with older construction, new build-outs, or electrical services, CEM has you covered. CEM is currently hiring for all positions. We offer competitive pay as well as great benefits. To inquire about employment or construction, please reach out to 848-7486 or visit CEMmaine.com. Congratulations from R&R Auto Body in Herman, serving Eastern and Central Maine for more than 40 years. Hanlon's Marine wants to wish the best of luck to all the teams that worked so hard to make it to the tournament this year. Healing Hands Massage in Hamden would like to congratulate the boys and girls basketball teams on an outstanding season.
4 single farmers saddle up to find lifelong love.
We had a fire going, and that wasn't the only spark.
An all-new Farmer Wants a Wife, Thursdays on Fox.
Welcome in to Fast Break Tournament Edition, brought to you by Dorsey Furniture and Coastal Auto Parts, your local Napa Auto Parts dealer. Welcome back into Fast Break Tourney 2024, same old crew alongside Ryan Sudol. I am Tyler Cruz, and we are brought to you by Coastal Auto Parts and Dorsey Furniture. Ryan, Tuesday is almost over, but our quarterfinal round is over as of about 10:34 at night. How are we doing tonight?
Little uneasy.
We made it.
We got it done. The game ended. We'll get to that game in a little bit. Class C quarterfinals were the last to wrap up, and there were some great matchups. Let's see what we were working with today, starting with C boys. Fort Fairfield and Mount View advanced yesterday. Today we had Hodgdon and Machias, followed by Piscataquis and Calais.
All right, and for the girls, it's going to be PVHS and Fort Kent in the semifinals. We still had Mattanock and Hodgdon to play, as well as Dexter and Mount View. All right, so let's get right to it. 4 p.m. start for all games today is definitely a welcome change. Let's start. It is the 5th-ranked Hodgdon Hawks taking on the number 4 Machias Bulldogs. Final seconds of the first half is where we pick this up, and check this out. Mickey Fitzsimmons to Bobby Richardson for 3, and he drills it at the horn. Hawks up 2 after 2 to the 3rd. Hodgdon's David Tuttle to Kyron Sierleglio. Beautiful feed around the D to Wyatt Oliver for 2. Later, Fitzsimmons off a Caden Carter screen, pulls from deep, swishes that one. Machias making this a game here late, but Hodgdon a big third quarter. Brody Little to Dan Henderson on the wing. His triple is true. It was tight down the stretch. Hawks win 64-57.
Keep pushing, you know, always just keep going the whole way, all 32 minutes of the game, you know, and we definitely did that.
All right, moving right along here, it's Piscataquis County taking on defending Northern Maine champs, the Calais Blue Devils. First quarter, off of a rebound, Calais' Caden Small gets it to Oliver Clark. He got fouled, and the bucket, count it, and one. He is fired up. Second quarter, it's Philip Bassett on the steal, taking this all the way down to the hoop for the deuce. Later on, here come the Pirates. Brady Gaunt to Noah Kane on the wing from deep. He gets it to go. The Devils were up big at the half, though, and in the third, they would continue to roll. Noah White finds Case and Dana from 3. That doesn't even think of touching the rim. Calais back in the semis. They win 57-33.
It was so much fun. I've been playing with those guys for a long time now, and it was just amazing to go out here on the big stage and really execute everything we practiced for the entire season.
And for the girls now, a battle between Machias and Mattanock kicks us off first quarter. Hey, there's a dog. The Lynx's Megan House gets it to Addison Sear inside. She gets whacked, but nothing she can't fix, and one on the layup. Final seconds of the quarter, Machias' Kristen Grant tosses it down into the paint. Skylar Tinker is there, and she gets that to go, and one as well. Close game early, but the Lynx take over in the third. Here's Juliana Kluke from 3, nothing but net. And then later, Kluge is going to bounce it to Sear. And again, she is just money in the post. She finished with 28 and 15, links to the semis, 70-40 the final.
And at halftime, we just said we need to slow it down. We need to play our game. We know what we can do. We know we need to transition and everything. And we just did that, and we ended up taking the lead.
And finally, for our quarterfinals, the Mount View Mustangs, the 8th seed, trying to knock off the top seed Dexter Tigers. First quarter, Dexter's Abby Corson with it. She threads this pass through the defense, and to Callie Gaudreau. She's a good filmmaker and a good baseball player. And later on, Mount View's Lily Parsons into Emma Hurd. She goes up but gets rejected by Maisie Peach. Second quarter, it's Corson again, finding this time Hannah Dean in the paint. She goes up, gets fouled, and gets the bucket to go. Third quarter now, Mount View's Ariana Bradeen on the break. A nice little euro as she gets to the hole for two. Dexter, though, a convincing win here, 43-20.
All right, and that leaves us with these matchups for the Class C boys semis. Calais and Hodgdon versus Fort Fairfield and Mount View. These games on Thursday. And Ryan?
And then for the girls, it'll be number one Dexter against number 4 Matt Nawcook. That Sear versus Peach matchup is going to be fantastic. And Fort Kent, the 2 seed against 3 seed PVHS.
All right, so that does it for not only our action from tonight, but our action from all of our quarterfinals around the state. It's not just time for the rebound, but it's time for the long rebound. Are you ready for it? It's like a 3 that hits the back iron perfectly. With our semifinals starting tomorrow, I figured we'll go through a few of the matchups we're excited to see, or maybe a few teams that really impressed us. Ryan, you are heading back down to Augusta tomorrow to the Civic Center. What games are circled, or game is circled on your schedule that day?
Okay, so for me, it is the boys semifinal in Class A between top seed Hampden Academy and 5 seed Camden Hills. Hampden, of course, beating Skowhegan on Saturday 64-58, 40 of which were by Zach McClellan in his return to the lineup, plus J.J. Wolfington doing what he does. Such a diverse player, such a force inside, but what an outside shot he has.
He's got a soft touch.
However, they only beat the 8th seed by 6, and that may open the door for Camden Hills to pull an upset special. Super impressive in their win over number 4 Nokomis, especially the duo of Will Duke and Nolan Ames. Tyler, you were there to see them against Brewer, and I know that you love these two together.
Yeah, they play really well together. The whole team really moves the ball. I mean, you talk about being on a string, and you look at Camden Hills, and they are, and you look at the 1 seeds in A North in the past, right? Halftime in 2021, the Cooper Flag-led Nokomis Warriors trailed Coney at the half in the semifinals. Last year, you were there when Camden Hills gave Brewer a run for their money, too. They were actually up in that game. Hampden didn't really trail against Skowhegan, but they showed a little bit of vulnerability. I would be surprised if this is a runaway game in favor of the Broncos. Should be a good one, too. I'll be here at the Cross tomorrow, and that very first game at 10 a.m. is the one that I want to talk about. 10th-ranked MDI coming out of the prelim on the road, knocking off 2-seeded out Mattanock. They get the Old Town Coyotes, who, as we all know, they are serious threats for a state title. It's really 2 different styles of play. Old Town is fast. They have bigs that can shoot. They have bigs that can guard the perimeter. Their guard play is stellar on both sides of the ball and on the glass. I can't say enough good things about them. MDI, too. I mean, I can go on and on about these guys. What I saw Saturday from MDI, and you'll see some highlights from them in a second, is a team that is really good in the half court. Spencer Lorendo and James Witham have great handles. They see the floor really well. They can get themselves out of jams with their dribbling if they need to, but they run through Jamison Weir, the big man. That matchup between him and Emmett Byther or Brendan Mahaney should be really physical. It should be really exciting, and if MDI can control the pace, it's going to be a really fun game.
And from tonight, let's talk about our 2 quarterfinals from Class C boys. I was really impressed with the Calais Blue Devils and how they started the game. They look like they're ready to repeat, but the way Hodgdon came out in that 3rd quarter after being down at the half really stuck with me. They move the ball so well. They can shoot, they can crash the boards. They don't shy away from the physicality. I think they match up decently with Calais, and that on Thursday should be a great game.
Yeah, we'll see some of those Hodgdon highlights in a second. Calais came out on fire. I think it was, 23-0 in this game. We know they can run. We know they can shoot. We know they can defend. But what Hodgdon did with their backs against the wall in the second half
I love the sequence right here, by the way.
It's an awesome pass down the court and an awesome vision there. This is going to be a really fun game. I know Calais is the favorite, but I wouldn't be counting out the Hawks. All right, so there is plenty more Fast Break to come when we get back. Don't go anywhere.
Maine Commercial Solar offers a variety of services including solar systems design, sales, maintenance, and installation. Maine Commercial Solar can help you with existing or new systems. We offer packages for installation by others, or we can help you build your own solar array, smaller residential, or anything in between. Maine Commercial Solar is currently hiring in Herman for multiple positions. We offer competitive pay, a 3% IRA match, vacation, holiday time, and a family-oriented environment. If interested, please call Jason at 848-7486.
Commercial vehicles can be dangerous, and they usually carry big insurance policies. So whether you're hurt by a landscaping truck like this, a work van like this, or a big rig like this, we know commercial vehicle accidents, and we know how to get you the big money you may deserve. If any commercial vehicle hurts you, call the twos. We win for you.
Hurt by a commercial vehicle? Call the twos. We win for you. Call 222-2222.
Tired of your internet service constantly letting you down? Those other providers may promise the world with their flashy advertisements, but are you truly having a good customer experience? Fear not, because there's a new player in town. Introducing GoNet Speed. No more endless hold times or automated responses. We're here to listen, support, and provide you with the exceptional service you deserve. Our fast, reliable fiber internet, it's mind-blowing. Let us show you what true internet satisfaction feels like.
207 Wellness, located in VZ, wants to congratulate all of this year's tourney teams. Hard work pays off, whether it's on the court or on yourself. Healing Hands Massage in Hamden would like to congratulate the boys and girls basketball teams on an outstanding season. Hanlon's Marine wants to wish the best of luck to all the teams that work so hard to make it to the tournament this year. Tonight's Sports is brought to you by Diversified Ink Tattoo Studio in Bangor, located in the Penobscot Plaza, providing custom ink by licensed artists for more than 20 years.
All right, so now that all of our semifinal matchups are set and ready to be played, starting tomorrow morning with Class B North.
Wait,
I'm Tyler Cruz.
you forgot
By the way, we have some semifinal matchups, some big ones.
Sponsored by Dorsey Furniture and Coastal
Auto Parts. In Class B North, we have a rematch of the past two regional titles. I was just too excited to get to this.
Yes,
as
I know.
4-seed Orono
cool.
is taking on top-ranked Ellsworth. Yeah, that's the game.
Yes, both teams coming in at 15-3, splitting the regular season series. This one should be a classic.
As it's been. And this, let's start with Ellsworth here. Let's break down the Eagles. They took a big win in their quarterfinals over Winslow. I was most impressed with really their defense. Obviously, we're going to get some clips of offense here, but they created a lot of turnovers. Here's one, and they get out and run the fast break so well, get easy buckets. Chance Mercier, 2 of his 16. But it's such a balanced attack. Yes, he led the way. 13 players scored in that one, including Mercier. So if Ellsworth wants to come out on top of this one, here's what I think are the keys to the game for them. First of all, you want to get others involved. Like I said, 13 players scored in that one. You don't want the ball just kind of, Mercier, it never sticks with Mercier because he's such a smart player. But if Mercier is your only go-to guy, and that's one Orono's going to know, and they'll be able to figure that out.
And worth mentioning, the amount of players that that scored for Orono in their game against Caribou, 6.
6. So there's a huge difference there. So if you can get the other guys going, it means those other guys are going to warrant defense, and you won't be able to spend so much time focusing on Chance Mercier.
Yeah, they also have to speed it up. Ellsworth does a great job with their full court press, and if you pressure the ball, don't let Pierce Walston walk it up and get Orono into their offensive sets, good things will definitely happen. You also want to push the pace on offense, get quick, easy buckets on fast breaks, and I think that if this is a shootout, Ellsworth is the beneficiary.
Yeah, and you also want to slop it up. That goes along with speeding it up. You mentioned their full court press. You want to get their guards trapped. You want Orono guards to have to make panic plays. You kind of want to make this one a messy game, turnovers, because if you're out and running and it's a track meet, I think you also have a good chance.
And we'll get to that. That's really my main criticism of the Orono team. We'll get to that in a little bit, but let's go to Orono. The 4-seed Red Riots hanging on to defeat Caribou, who they lost to early in the season. The three-headed monster of Pierce Walston and the Francis brothers combining for 39
They play with so much
points.
passion. It is so fun to watch.
I was just about to say that. Defending champs run a fast, big play kind of game, and that helps them a lot, but that can hurt them some. With that said, here are some keys for them. Okay, starting with don't chance it. You have to not allow Chance Mercier to get a hold of the ball, because if he gets a hold of the ball, if he's not making shots, he's getting them to his teammates, and that's where most of the points are created, through him. Cannot allow that to happen.
So the off-ball defense is going to be key. Deny, deny, deny.
Okay, and also you have to
Squeeze the orange. Yeah, that goes into what I said with Ellsworth kind of wanting to make this game a little messy. That possession battle is going to be huge. If Orono can limit their turnovers, that also limits the easy buckets Ellsworth gets, which limits the momentum. And it really, if you can limit your turnovers, you can control the pace of play, which I think is huge for Orono.
And like I said about my main criticism about the Orono team, they put a lot of balls in harm's way, whether it's Hail Mary passes from one end of the court to the other.
They're so good at it.
They're so good at it. It looks cool. It looks cool
when
it works. But a lot of times what I've seen in the big games they've played, whether it's against Old Town or Ellsworth, they do a little bit too much of that for my liking. So I think they need to calm down a little bit with that and, like we said, squeeze the orange.
Yeah, and we saw them play really smart in that finals game last year, too, against Ellsworth. So they can do it.
Yes, and we know they're capable. And they also need to crash the defensive glass. You
Yeah.
don't want to allow Ellsworth to get second chance points because oftentimes, if they get the offensive rebound, there's going to be somebody open on the wing or in the corner three, in the corner 4-3. I didn't get to say that today.
Yeah.
I'm so upset.
You know, exactly. It's going to come down to, like we said, the turnovers, also the possession battle on the glass. If you can limit Ellsworth getting second, third, fourth chances, you can keep them to one shot and back on defense, you have a chance to win this game. All right, we have plenty more fast break to come, including our play of the night. That was fun, including our play of the night and some game balls. Stay with us.
Comfy, cozy, relaxing. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find rockers, recliners, sofas, and easy chairs. Quality furniture, affordable prices. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
Toyota trains certified technicians. Is that important? Well, you wouldn't hire just anyone to help you move, would you? No. Of course not. Not again.
Get your Toyota ready for the year's coldest and harshest weather. See your New England Toyota dealer for great service offers to help keep your Toyota dependable and fuel efficient all winter long. Toyota Service Centers. Keep your Toyota a Toyota.
Great Scott! This is Green Bay 420 in 2010. What kind of trip is this? I gotta get back to 2023. Wait, it's 2015. So much has changed. In 2023, we had a lot more glass, t-shirts, and novelties. It's gonna take a bolt of lightning to get me home. Finally, home at last. Now Green Bear 420, Green Bear Green Care is bigger and better than ever. To be continued.
I had a slip and fall accident. I wasn't sure what to do. Joe Bornstein's office handled everything. The experience was much better than what I expected. They were very professional and responsive to all my questions and concerns. I highly recommend the law offices of Joe Bornstein. Over 25,000 victories for injured Mainers just like me. If you've been injured in an accident, call Joe. It's that easy. Tell him you mean business.
Call Joe today for a free case evaluation. There's never a fee unless you win.
On April 8th, Maine will experience a total solar eclipse. ABC 7 and Fox 22 want you to see one of nature's most beautiful and rare sights in the sky. We'll let you know the best places to see the eclipse, how to safely view it, and let you know why it's so special. We are the place for coverage of the Maine eclipse. Go to foxbangor.com and click on the Maine eclipse button to start to learn more today.
Durable, sturdy, stylish. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find solid wood, built to last, made in Maine dressers, bureaus, and nightstands. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
Is this the start of a dynasty? A redemption tour? A breakthrough? Or is this the makings of the wildest ride you'll ever witness? Any questions?
Welcome back to Fast Break Tourney 2024. Almost at the halfway point of the week. Day 4 is now complete. Tyler Cruz here with Ryan Sudol, brought to you by Coastal Auto Parts and Dorsey Furniture. Didn't forget this time.
Yes, exactly. We have put the quarterfinals to bed, and we're turning the page. But before we go tonight, let's get to a few things. First, our play of the night. It's time for You Gotta See This. Okay, this one goes out to Machias boys Bobby Richardson. Here comes Mickey Fitzsimmons at the end of the first half in their game against Hodgdon today. He got this ball with about a half second to go and drills it at the horn to make it a 2-point game going into the half.
Yeah, down 1 at the time of the shot. It's kind of like when you're spamming the, I play Xbox, so you're spamming X trying to get the shot off with 0.6 left in 2K. It's kind of what he did there. He gets it and just hoists it right up.
With a man in his
really
face,
fun
too.
to see. Yeah, I mean, you have to with the defense there. Great shot for them. Unfortunately, don't get the win, but that is a huge play, and that's why you had to see it.
Which is just as well.
Yeah, exactly. All right, and now, as always, no ball here tonight. I think I forgot it. But let's do our game balls. I'll go first.
Oh, wait,
go out
here you go. Here's your ball.
Mine goes out to
Play
Hodgson.
along.
I got it.
Okay.
Mine goes out to Hodgson point guard David Tuttle. David led all Hawks 17 points in their win, and it wasn't just his scoring. He was getting wherever he wanted on the court with his dribble, finding open guys, whether it be on fast break or in the front court. He's the one that started that break on that play you really love with the long pass. I mean, just in control all game, no matter how fast he's going. Hit all of his free throws in the fourth quarter, too, in a close game. So showing he's got that clutch gene. No-look pass right there. A really impressive performance from him. So that's why he gets my game ball, and we'll just pretend like I gave the ball back to you.
Okay, great. So anyway, so my game ball goes to Addison Sear from Matt Knockook, 28 points and 15 rebounds. Really says it all. The sophomore, if you got the ball into the paint with her tonight, it was going to go in more often than not. And the fact that she is a sophomore makes it that much more impressive. Really, the top 2 players on the team, Megan House and her, the 2 sophomores, really shows how much potential this team has down the line to turn it into a dynasty. However, they have Dexter next round. But like we said before, I think the matchup between Sear and Maisie Peach is going to be something to watch. They both have similar skill sets. They're both deceivingly agile in the paint. They can make spin moves. They can do all the stuff that a great center would do. And I feel like that it is going to be a very, very close matchup with them two in terms of points scored.
That game on Thursday, but let's go to a busy day tomorrow for us. We'll take a peek at those games. So those semifinals get tipped off around the entire state, starting with Class A in Augusta. Or no, we'll go with Bangor first from the Claw Center. MDI and Old Town kick us off at 10 a.m. Ellsworth and Orono at 11:30 right after, and then we'll go into the girls session at 2 and 3:30. That's MDI and Old Town again, and then Caribou versus Ellsworth at 3:30. A lot of green and a lot of red in the Cross Center tomorrow. And then in D, boys, it's going to be Southern Rustic and Bangor Christian versus Katahdin and Skake. Now we'll play those Augusta games, Ryan. You take this one.
Okay. The Class A North Girls semifinal starting at 2 p.m. Coney against Hamden Academy, followed by Camden Hills against Lawrence, the top seed there, at 3:30. And then at 7 o'clock, number 3 Messalonskee against number 2 Mount Blue, and of course number 5 Camden Hills against number 1 Hamden at 8:30.
All right, we will have all of those highlights, plus reaction from the players, coaches, whatever we get, you name it. We'll have all of that for you tomorrow here on Fast Break. You'll be live down in Augusta for us, but that's all we have for tonight. Have a great rest of your evening. See you back here at 10 tomorrow with more Fast Break.